we had much more. Did we lose all our chances on romance? Is your cup filled or is this a whole
Day 2 of Project Love Speech. So starting this out, I didn't think I was gonna make it 365 days. That was like a last minute decision. I was editing and I was like, you know, fuck it, that's it. 365 Project X type. I'm happy I did it though, because it's like a big commitment. I'm happy I started this Project Love Speech because with the way I operate, I do a lot of things like just almost meditating. Like not meditating, but I'll go somewhere and just talk to my, not talk, but just go through ideas I have. And it's so good because someone who does that a lot, it's perfect for content because you'll never run out of things to talk about. And a lot of the times I'm probably not going to script a lot of these Project Love Speech videos just because I love speaking from the heart. And that's the whole idea with Project Love Speech, is that it's all my ideas. But 365 days, that's a decision. That's a decision and a commitment. Obviously not all the videos are going to be just me talking. I'm doing a lot of vlog stuff, like me talking about ideas and stuff like that. The video is titled Wish, or I Wish rather, because there's a lot of things that I want for this world, because I feel like everyone's put on the world for a purpose. That's why I'm so committed to love speech, because I'm so committed to like being a part of change or the leader of change. Because we have I said this in the last video, and I'm working on a documentary about Drome. So Drome is like, basically the idea is a self-sufficient society that Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, was working on. And what I love about Drome is because that's all the aspirations I have for, well, not all of it, because I do believe in currency. Like Ye's whole thing was abolish money and everything's like self-sufficient and free, which I agree with the self-sufficient part. I think we can definitely live in a world for self-sufficient electricity, energy, whatever. But I think all currency should be backed by gold and silver rather than oil. The dollar is not backed by gold, it's not backed by silver, it's backed by oil. The reason it's not good is because not only do you have to invade a lot of countries to get oil, it's also, it depends on what, so not everyone believes in climate change, but it's just not good for the environment. But obviously, as the world progresses, I'm sure we'll maybe weasel out of oil. I don't think it's gonna be my lifetime though. I think we're always gonna have oil as backing the dollar. But it's such a terrible system because gold and silver are objectively the best thing. That's what it should be backed by. Originally, it was literal gold, like it was like gold coins, whatever. Then they came out with the paper money backed by gold, and they promised it's always going to be backed by gold, whatever. And then they stopped backing it by gold and they backed it by oil. And that's just, I don't agree with that. I just think it's not good. I think of all things to back money by, oil, I don't know. That's one of my wishes. I hope, I don't think Drome will ever come to be. If it does, Ye's going to be old. Ye is going to be old working on that, because the amount of money he would need, because he was working on it when he was a billionaire. 8 billion he had, right? And he isn't at that level. I think he has about 2 billion. I'm sure, I'm sure it will go up, maybe close, but it just depends on so many factors. So I don't think Drome will ever come to be. But I do, I want to set some, obviously, and this has to be late in the future, because I have to become a billionaire to be able to do something like Drome, which I don't know. I don't know if I'm even capable of doing that. Obviously, you should always, it's like, look, Ye said, reach for the stars. At least if you land on a cloud. Like, that's why I love the concept of wishing and hoping, because as long as there's hope, there's change. Because obviously you have to act on that hope. Like I always hoped I would, I'm hoping I'm gonna make it like rich or whatever, but I have to actually act on that hope. I can't just rely on money falls into my lap,
Jesse had to go to private school. Jesse dad's cool. Jesse had rules. Jesse daddy from the old school. Everything was cool.
I have to actually work for this. That's why I'm doing every day I'm trying to do a vlog or these love speech projects, just because that's something I have to do something, But the funny thing is, content isn't even my main goal. My main goal is to become a designer and then do something after I made money from clothing, because I say main goal, but it's just it's like the central goal to achieve everything else. Because with clothing, it's so easy to accumulate billions if you already have a platform. And obviously, if I want to do something like Jerome, I'm going to need billions. It's just so ambitious because it's like, if I'm telling all this to the world and then I don't do it, it's like, but then again, I'm not doing it for anyone else except myself. So it needs to happen. Just for, but everything I do is like an act. Not in the sense of like acting, but it's like an act for future, for God, for whatever, right? And it sounds like everything. Not every single thing, but every central thing I do is for God. The whole concept of believing in heaven and hell, it's that you believe that this world is temporary, which is like, okay, well, if you believe it's temporary, why the hell are you gonna do all these things and create this, create that? It's like, yeah, it's true, okay, but use those things to lead people to heaven. Because if you have this perfect society that you've built and it's backed by God's law, right, then it's, that's gonna, people are gonna be like, whoa, this is like amazing. So I think that's why so many people, like Islam is on the rise. It's because you look at Muslim societies, like, even not everyone likes the UAE, but UAE, Saudi, Qatar, and it's like, those are some of the best places in the world to be right now. I love London, but I wish we replicated some of those laws in like Qatar, because it's like sex, money, those are like, Ye said, those please demons. I'm gonna play the clip if I remember in editing.
Sex and money are things that attract demons.
Yes. Yeah, it's a demonic. Yeah.
Or something like that. It's like an act for the devil, and it's so true, because those things lead society into ruins, right? And I'm not like saying, if you do those things, it's like, no, if it's overdone, because I like the example of a game Cyberpunk. Okay, yeah. The game Cyberpunk is a very good depiction of what we're going towards. It's like late stage capitalism, like an overabundance of sex, drugs, money. Like it's true late. Like that's what I think late stage capitalism looks like. How do you define hate? Not all hate is evil, which is so like dystopian, because because all hate comes from a place of nuance, not like it's naive. A lot of it comes from fear. Like I'm Muslim, right? But there's so many people that hate Muslims because of, ISIS, Al Qaeda, whatever, like these terrorist groups. And I understand it. That's why I'm not like. But then it goes into a different stage of hate, where it's like growing up, like one of my first ever memories was my mom getting like screamed at for wearing the hijab. And it's like, how does that, even if you hate Muslims, what exactly does that do for your movement? And it's like, that's one of my earliest memories. I honestly want to create a world where kids don't have to grow up seeing that stuff. There's so many things I wish for the future, so many things I wish to do with my life, and there's only so many things I can do. And we have, we're on this earth for about, 80 years, and none of that is even promised. Nothing life is promised except death. So some of the things I hope to achieve is to create a better future, to create, period. I have big aspirations to do something with Jerome, or something like Jerome. It had all these things: communism, capitalism, socialism, brought into one, and it was fully engineered by Ye and his team. And to me, that's like the best depiction of the future, because we have so many ideas, so many engineers in this world, but no visionaries. And that to me is such a detrimental thing, because there's only so many visionaries in this world. Steve Jobs, Malcolm X, Ye, that's just to name a few, right? But there's always going to be engineers. Just having a vision cannot be taught. Not everyone has that aspiration, those ambitions. And I wish for the future, I wish that more people would see what Ye was building with Jerome and try to work towards it. That's why I'm working to build up and to ignite love speech, because I really believe in that movement, love speech, the concept, the ideas. There's so many things we can learn from that movement. Part of my objective morality is that we only fight in self-defense. I really love Malcolm X because he's everything I want to be. Because he said something: you can't sit and wait for you have to fight back against your oppressor. Basically, that's what he said. And I agree with him, because that's self-defense. That's like, people will see Israel and Palestine and say, does Israel not have a right to defend itself? And it's like, they're the oppressor. They are oppressing how could they be? That's not self-defense then. If you're oppressing someone and they fight back at you, that's not self-defense. That's them doing acting on self-defense, you know. And that's another thing I wish for the world. I hope everyone can see like that. I want to be the change. That's my biggest goal in life, to be the change. I did have this resentment, but it just, well, you can, like, there's nothing you can channel with that. I just channeled all my hatred into love, and with that, I can definitely make change and make a difference.
We pray we get more time. Heal the pain, we need more time. Things change in a short time. Things change in a short time. We pray we get more time. Heal the pain, we need more time. Things change in a short time. Things change in a short time.